In a small town surrounded by dark forests, there was an old road that most people avoided. The road was narrow, cracked, and covered with weeds. At the very end of that road stood a house. Everyone in town knew about it. It was called the abandoned house. The windows were broken, the paint had fallen off the walls, and the roof looked like it could collapse at any moment. Trees had grown around it, almost like they were trying to hide it from the world. People said strange things happened there. Lights appeared in the windows at night. Sometimes neighbors heard footsteps inside. But the strangest thing was this. No one had lived in that house for more than 40 years. Most people stayed away from it. But of course, teenagers didn't. One cold October evening, four friends decided to check it out. Their names were Alex, Ryan, Lily, and Mark. They had heard the stories for years, and they wanted to see if anything strange was actually happening there. "It's probably just an old empty house," Mark said, laughing. "Yeah," Ryan agreed. "People just like making up creepy stories." But Lily wasn't so sure. "My grandma told me something about that place," she said quietly. "What?" Alex asked. "She said the last family who lived there disappeared." The group went silent for a moment. Then Mark laughed again. "Yeah, right. That's just town gossip." Still, none of them were completely comfortable. They reached the house just after sunset. The sky was turning dark purple, and the wind was blowing through the trees. The house looked even worse up close. The front door hung slightly open. It moved slowly with the wind. Creak, creak. Ryan pulled out his phone flashlight. "Well," he said, "here we are." Alex pushed the door open. It made a long, horrible creaking sound. Inside, the air smelled old and dusty. The floorboards cracked under their feet. The house was completely silent. Too silent. They stepped inside the living room. Old furniture was still there. A couch covered in dust. A broken table. Pictures hanging crooked on the walls. One of the pictures showed a family. A father, a mother, and a small boy. But someone had scratched out the faces. "Okay, that's creepy," Mark said. "Who would do that?" Lily looked around nervously. "I don't like this place." Ryan laughed. "Relax. It's just an old house." But right then, they heard a sound upstairs. A slow thump. Like someone walking. Everyone froze. "Did you hear that?" Alex whispered. "Yeah," Lily said immediately. Mark tried to laugh again. "Probably a raccoon or something." But the sound came again. Thump. Thump. Slow footsteps. Ryan slowly pointed his flashlight toward the staircase. "Only one way to find out," he said. They began walking up the stairs. Each step creaked loudly. The sound of their breathing filled the hallway. At the top of the stairs there were 3 doors. One of them was slightly open. And from inside that room, they heard breathing. Not loud. Just slow. Like someone standing very still. Listening. Alex pushed the door open. The room was empty. Just an old bed and a broken chair. "See?" Mark said quickly. "Nothing here." But Lily pointed at the dust on the floor. "Then what is that?" There were footprints. Fresh ones. Leading from the window to the hallway. Suddenly the door downstairs slammed shut. Bang. The sound echoed through the house. Lily screamed. "Someone's here," she said. Ryan ran to the hallway and looked down the stairs. The front door was closed now. But they all clearly remembered leaving it open. "Did one of you close it?" Alex asked. No one answered. Then the footsteps started again. But this time, they were coming from the hallway. Right outside the room. The four friends stood completely still. No one spoke. The footsteps stopped. Right in front of the door. Then the door slowly began to close. By itself. Mark ran forward and grabbed it. "Nope," he said loudly. "We're leaving." Everyone agreed. They rushed down the stairs and ran to the front door. Mark pulled the handle. But it wouldn't move. "It's stuck," he shouted. "Try harder," Ryan said. Mark pulled again. Nothing. The door wouldn't open. Then they heard something behind them. A voice. Soft. Almost a whisper. "Stay." The friends slowly turned around. At the top of the stairs, a small boy was standing there. Pale. Silent. Watching them. It was the same boy from the picture. The one whose face had been scratched out. And he was smiling. Alex whispered one sentence that none of them ever forgot. "That house isn't abandoned." People in town still talk about that house. Sometimes at night, a light appears in the upstairs window. And neighbors say they sometimes see four shadows standing inside. Looking out. Waiting.